Prime Minister, welcome to 7:30.
Good to be with you, Sarah.
This was an overwhelming show of US force. Is there no concern in your government that there seem to be no legal checks to US power under President Trump?
Well, what we have here is the Iranians have shown over the last 3 days why they remain a threat to peace and stability in the region. We've seen even in recent hours attacks on a British base in Cyprus, on French forces stationed in Abu Dhabi, and on the Gulf states right across the board, a seemingly endless series of attacks, including in residential areas, in areas that are frequented by tourists in Dubai and Abu Dhabi and Qatar. And I think that this is a regime which has engaged in international terrorism support, including, of course, here in Australia, with at least 2 anti-Semitic attacks, including the financing and promotion of the attack on the Adas synagogue in Melbourne.
That is powerful motivation, but I want to be absolutely clear about this. What is the legal basis for this attack?
Well, that's a matter for the United States, based upon we don't have access to the intelligence that the United States and Israel had prior to the launch of these attacks. No doubt this has now occurred. Quite clearly, what we've seen with the recent joint statement of the United Kingdom, France and Germany, a concern about the escalation of these attacks by Iran on the region, including by parties which were certainly not part of this action on Iran.
Now, in January, President Trump was asked if there were any limits at all on his global power. He said, yeah, there's one thing, my own morality, my own mind. It's the only thing that can stop me. Is that a check on the use of US power that your government is comfortable with?
Well, what we are supportive of is the US making a decision about stopping Iran getting nuclear weapons, and also about stopping the role that Iran has played in undermining peace and security in the region. They have been bad actors for a long period of time now, for 37 years, under a regime that not only has attacked the region, but importantly as well has attacked its own people, with tens of thousands of deaths in recent period for people expressing their basic and fundamental human rights. This is a regime and a leader in the Ayatollah Khamenei who will not be mourned because his record is one of inciting violence and instability at a time where what we need in the world is more peace and security. And whilst the Iranian regime continue to engage in the aggressive activity that they have, including, of course, here in Australia, which is why Australia took the very strong action, the first expulsion of an ambassador since the Second World War, as a result of the evidence which we clearly had of the direct involvement of the IRGC in attacks on Australian soil. Now, Iran's position quite clearly has not been just defensive, they have been offensive and have engaged in these attacks on foreign soil for a long period of time now, including on a nation a long way away from Iran here in Australia.
So for you, that combination of events justifies the assassination of Iran's top leadership?
Well, he will not be mourned.
It's not the question, if I may, Prime Minister. You'd said that before. Does Australia it justify the assassination?
Well, Australia has had a clear position of supporting this action, and Australia has had a position of abhorrence when it comes to the Iranian regime. And it is up to, of course, the Iranian people now to determine their own future. We hope that what emerges is a more democratic and free Iran. Iran, of course, has such an extraordinary history, and people have shown incredible courage and bravery. This will be a difficult time, including for Iranian Australians who will have relatives and friends in Iran. But the community here in Australia is certainly supportive of a change and of human rights, because one of the reasons why so many people have fled essentially to other countries is because of the nature of that regime.
Does your government want to see the entire Iranian regime replaced, both the Ayatollahs and the Iranian Revolutionary Guard?
We've declared the IRGC as a terrorist organisation of the state, and they've engaged in state-sponsored terrorism. So, of course, I want to see their power removed, because their power has been used not just for international acts, but of course to oppress their own people. But of course the future of Iran lays with its own people, and we of course stand with the people of Iran in fighting for their democratic rights, their freedom and their basic human rights that they've been denied.
You said no one will mourn the Ayatollah, but there are reports this afternoon that at least 4 Shiite institutions in Australia have either published obituaries of him or are going to hold memorials to him. Should those materials be withdrawn? Should those memorials go ahead?
Look, we have a clear position as the Australian government, and I think overwhelmingly Australians will have that position. We in this country have a different approach to people having different views from a totalitarian regime such as Iran. But our position is very clear, and I'm sure that is shared by the overwhelming majority of Australians, including the overwhelming number of Australians of Iranian descent.
These are tricky areas, I understand, but I just want to be clear about that. Do you think that memorials for the death of the Ayatollah Khamenei should go ahead in Australia or not?
Well, I don't think they're appropriate, and certainly I think that overwhelmingly people won't be participating. Overwhelmingly, what Australians want is, and the Australian covenant, no matter where people are from, is that if they have any hatred or prejudice, it's left at the customs hall. That's the Australian covenant of people who come here, because we are a country that believes in human rights, that believes in democracy, that believes in freedom, and we, of course, want to see that right around the world. It is up to the people of Iran now to determine their future, and over coming days and weeks and the period ahead, we await what comes.
President Trump has said that this could go on for 4 weeks, is the figure that he used. Would you agree to Australian intelligence assets or military assets being used in the weeks ahead?
Well, I certainly don't talk about Australian intelligence issues on 7:30 or anywhere else. There's been no request, and I don't expect any request for Australian military assets to be involved. It's a long way from Australia, and Australia is not, we are not big players in the Middle East.